Hey, what up guys, it's Erik V here, Beta Records TV, and in the studio with me today is Tom Zutaut, a man who has worked his way up through the ranks from the mailroom to become a very sought-after A&R guy, and you've worked with some huge names. And tell me a bit about yourself and then how you got involved in this whole music industry.
When I was 19, I got offered a job to move out to Hollywood and work in the headquarters of Elektra Records, which was home of the Doors and Queen and Jackson Browne and the Eagles and all this music. So when I got there, though, all this music was kind of dying out, and so the company wasn't doing so well. I was just a sales guy, you know, sharing an office with someone really low on the food chain. And then one day, the son of the chairman of the company kidnapped me, and he took me out for lunch to some rib joint, and then afterwards he said to me, what do you think of the music at my dad's company? And he was like the same age as me, so we're both like 20 or something. I said, well, the music really stinks here. It's like nobody's buying it anymore. People don't really care about it. Kids are really sick of it. They want something new and fresh. And I told him that I had submitted, you know, Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll, and I'd submitted the Go-Go's and X and all these like cool LA bands that were starting to make some noise, and they had been passed on. And he said, do you mind if I go tell my dad that? I said, I might get fired for saying that, so maybe you better not. Well, he did anyway. So the next thing I know, my phone's ringing. Hi, this is the office of the chairman of the company. You're needed upstairs immediately. So I went up there, and the first thing he says to me, he says, my son tells me you think the music at my company stinks. And I said, yeah, it's true. And he said, I'll tell you what, wise guy, the next thing you see that you think is gonna be big, you bring it to me and I'll make sure it gets signed. Well, the next thing I saw was Motley Crue.
What do you think it is that made you have this kind of ear that could notice these things, and these record label execs just didn't seem to hear it?
When you're in the business a long time, it's easy to get jaded, and it's easy maybe to just get stuck on the things that have been successful in the past. But I think that every generation, including, you know, the current generation of teenagers out there, they need their own music, their own heroes, things that they can identify with artists their own age that are going through the same life experiences they are.
You've somehow kind of kept that relationship with what's hot to the kids, even as you've gotten older. Do you still feel you've got that edge?
I do. I have a daughter who just turned 20, and kind of growing up with her and her friends, it gave me a pretty good perspective on the sort of changing, you know, musical attitudes of, you know, new generations of teenagers. You got to keep up with what people are buzzing about on the internet. You have to stay active in the clubs and see, you know, what high school bands are starting to make some noise, because, you know, there's those aha gotcha moments. An aha gotcha moment 15 years ago would have been MTV played your video in front of millions of people. Well, now MTV doesn't really play videos, they play reality shows. MySpace today is what a record company was 20 years ago, because you can interact with the artist, you can read their press, you can see their videos, you can hear their music, and millions of people can just sign on to their MySpace and go and look at that.
Is there another band out there that that's recent, that maybe have had one of these moments?
Yeah, I think there's this band called the Airborne Toxic Event, and I can't remember the name of the song, but I'm sure everyone out there will know this song, because by the time you see this, that song is probably going to be top 5 around the world. And every now and then, you know, some musical genius comes up with this great song that just captures a moment that everybody has to have. And to me, that is this year's moment, that particular song.
Yeah. So these days, are you still at the whole A&R thing?
Absolutely, I'm still at it. I'm not that hard to find. If you internet search me, you can find me and send me your music on Facebook or wherever. I think the thing that really makes me tick is finding great new music and sharing it with the world, helping those artists pull together within their own creativity what is inside them, helping them get it out, and then helping them put it out into the world. So, you know, nothing can take the place of that. It gives me so much pleasure.